What's going on, guys? You're listening to WSOU. I'm Nick, and I'm here with my very special guest, my man, Fronz from Attila. What's going on, dude?
Hey, not too much, man. Excited to be back in New Jersey, playing at Starland Ballroom. I love this place.
It's been a while. Actually, yeah, it's been about a year since you were here last, right? Which was a sick tour.
Yeah. I think it's been about a year. Last time we were here, I believe, was with Falling in Reverse.
Yeah.
So,
And that was what I was going to say is the tours you've been putting on. I've never seen a lineup where it wasn't something I would go to. Like, this is such a stacked lineup. When I saw this, I was like, this is like the lineup of the year.
hell yeah. We like to put together really good lineups, especially when we're headlining and we're in control of kind of who we want on the tour and whatnot.
Right.
So we always make sure we make it a really standout lineup that everyone wants to go to.
For sure. And I'm really glad you guys put the Siler boys on there too, because they're really starting to blow up. And I know even Jaden, like, he's helped you guys out in the past. He's helped out Frankie and them too over there. So it's cool to have like the whole like friends and stuff rocking out.
Yeah, it's pretty much a friends tour, which is cool. Everyone
yeah.
knows each other,
For
everyone's
sure.
friends. It's pretty tight.
For sure. And of course, this is all for the new album, which super stoked, coming out very, very short. You put out just another song the other day. Because obviously with you guys, there's a lot of controversy surrounding you. Just even your fans themselves have, differing opinions sometimes. So when a new album comes out, what's kind of your headspace?
I I expect there to be a mix of love and hate with anything we do in this band, and that's kind of like everything that surrounds us is a little bit polarizing, and that's fine to me, and that's, like I said, I expect that. So I think overall the response for the 4 songs we've released off Chaos is pretty much what I expected.
Okay.
If not a little bit better or a little bit more on the positive side. I think the biggest thing I try to convey to people about our new album Chaos is that it's a very diverse album. So if
For sure, yeah.
in the beginning stages where we're just releasing singles like we've been, I just always tell people, if this is something you love, hell yeah. If you don't, just wait, because there's something you will love on this album. And that's kind of like what makes this such a cool album, is just the fact that there's something for everybody all within this one album, no matter what style of metal you like.
For sure. And now, I was blown away the fact, because I wasn't really expecting it, and you pulled it off really well. And I'm excited to see if there's more. The clean singing you pulled off on Bulletproof, which obviously a lot of people were surprised by. Was that something you've been kind of looking to do? Because obviously it's not really been an element for a while.
Yeah, I would say we're one of the few bands that have been able to get as big as we are without clean singing at all. So
Right.
I don't think it's something I've ever depended on or something I've ever needed to do. But I think that for me as a vocalist, my goal was always to be the most diverse vocalist I could possibly be, and
Definitely.
expand and push myself to new limits. So I feel like me introducing clean vocals on 1 or 2 songs out of the entire album, I don't think it's really a big deal or a make or break. I think it's more or less just me expanding myself as a vocalist and trying to do new things, because I just want to be the vocalist in the metal scene that can do everything: highs, lows, mids, yells, rap, singing.
Right.
I want to be like 10 vocalists in one, and I think that's what I hope to bring to the table.
For sure. So is there other elements that we'll see on the album that haven't been out yet?
I would say it's mostly stuff that people have heard before, with the exception of clean singing on
Right.
2 of the tracks and a little bit of toned sing scream type stuff.
Okay.
But it's mostly stuff that people have heard before from me.
Okay. And now something that I've always thought would work well, which I'm kind of surprised you guys haven't done, maybe it's just something you haven't really been that into yet, is trying to get like a rap feature on the album. I thought that'd be sick for you guys to pull off.
Yeah. I think that's something we've all talked about and
Okay.
considered. So it's not out of the window. It's something we would do in the future for sure.
Right.
It's just a matter of finding the right rapper or someone that we're friends with, because I think the issue for a band like us is the fact is we're still a metal band, so we
Right.
don't have a rapper budget to make
For
an
sure.
album. So you know, a lot of these rappers are kind of in a different world where getting a feature is an insane amount of money unless you have some kind of hookup or benefit to bring
Right.
them. So it's difficult. Like, you know, we could be blowing our entire album budget for
On
one
just
single
that.
feature, and you know, it's tough, man. Sometimes that's partially what it comes down to.
For sure. Now, is that also into the rap side? Are you going to be continuing, or is that a one-time thing? You just want to get that one album out to just to kind of explore that aspect of what you do?
I think I'll make another solo rap album. I just don't exactly know when.
Right.
It's just something, you know, between album cycles, if I have time and I'm feeling creative, I'll make some more music, you know. I think it's just part of being an artist and trying to stay creative and stay on my toes at all times. So I think another rap album from me is definitely something that will happen eventually.
Okay, solid. And now, what I think is interesting is you guys have been around for almost, roughly 10 years doing it on the big scene. And because of that, obviously, you've grown, you have a family now. Now, what does that change about how you go about doing things? Because obviously, you're not as young as you used to be, and obviously, everyone constantly gets older, and that changes how you do what you do. So, how do you see that with the image of the band?
Eh, I don't think it changes a whole lot because I'm still able to have, you know, my stage persona, my
Right.
family life. It's not something that I feel like has to, um, you know, be the same thing. I can keep things separate and
Right.
have a healthy balance in my life. So I don't know. I mean, I'm getting older, but it's not a big deal. I'm still 26, so it's, you know, I'm still young in the game,
For sure,
and we
yeah.
still got a ways to go. So it's, you know, just part of life.
I feel you. I feel you. And now, what would you say? Like, I want to know because you are such you're constantly grinding, doing something. You have a lot of different businesses. What is it that gives you that capability? Because obviously, a lot of people struggle just to get simple things done. How do you find the time and the drive to take on as many different things that you're doing at once,
I think it's just in my nature.
just to do it?
It's in my blood. I've always wanted to be a businessman, be an entrepreneur, work for myself, have financial freedom to do whatever I want, and it's just, you know, it's tough to do that with just music. We're fortunate as a band that we're all very smart, but it's tough. So pretty much you have no choice but to either, you know, expand or just be lazy. And I have enough downtime to participate in extra ventures, and I'm very good at what I do. So I feel like it just, everything makes sense. I do a lot, but I manage it all and I make it happen. And, you know, it's never been an issue for me. It's always just been something I've done. I've always been involved in a lot, and I just have the right mindset for it, you know?
For sure. And I thought it was really almost interesting that, especially in this kind of music industry situation, that you went for making the label. Now, did you think that that was something that you could really pull off in this day and age? Because obviously, the importance of a label is constantly changing with the way music is digested now. But I'd say with the bands you've been signing, you've obviously been pulling it off. But is that something that you were kind of weary about when you were starting to get it off the ground?
Weary about what? Just like the
Just in
changing
general,
industry?
like, yeah, just jumping in, creating a whole label like that.
I mean, I knew it was a big task, but I feel like I've been involved in the music industry for 12 years now, and it just was something that made sense to me to be involved in something that I've been a part of my whole entire life.
Right.
So it really just made sense, and I think that my experience comes from the fact that we've been signed to labels for so long, and I've seen the good sides of labels, the bad sides, the dirty sides, the messed up shit, and I think it's just allowed me to know how to make bands happy and how to run a proper label. And the fact that I'm so young allows me to adapt and know how to make a label successful for the future versus like the old labels that don't know how to adapt to changing times.
For sure. And now that's interesting too, because you just jumped labels too with Attila. You guys are on the new Sharp Tone label. So what kind of went to that decision?
We had quite a few offers on the table as far as labels go. I think the reason that we really like Sharp Tone and Nuclear Blast is because, I mean, they have a great team. We already know the people on the label, and we know they do good work. And we like that they have such a strong presence internationally, because we've done well in the US, and it's time for us to expand in Europe and expand in Asia and expand in Australia and everywhere else. So they have a good presence in international territory, so we just want to expand our music more worldwide, and Nuclear Blast / Sharp Tone had a lot to offer.
For sure. And that was like, I just saw the other day you guys played Mexico for the first time, which was insane. I saw footage that like they were chanting and everything. That must have been insane to experience that.
Yeah, that was really awesome, man. Anytime you play a country for the first time and people chant your name and know your songs, it's always very gratifying. So I was pumped. Mexico's tight.
For sure, for sure. And another thing that I find really interesting about you is your internet presence. You've made such a name not only for the band, but just for your personality, and you have your Facebook page, you have, the Twitter. Like, I have friends who don't even listen to this style of music, and like they know who you are, and like, we'll talk about like back when you were doing all like the Capri Sun tweets and all that stuff. Like, they know all of that. So how do you combine that aspect? Like, is that just something you enjoy doing?
Yeah, that's just me being me.
Yeah.
I'm a huge goofball weirdo.
Right.
Always have been my whole life. So my internet personality is just me being myself. And I, ever since social media was created, like Facebook, LiveJournal, I don't even know where the beginning is traced to, but I've always been big on social media since it started, and I've always loved it and enjoyed it, and the ability to connect with so many people so easily is just rad as fuck. So I've always liked social media. It's always been a big thing for me.
Right. And now, what's your opinion? I know I've heard different things. Obviously, there's a lot of people who use the internet kind of as their career path, like a lot of the YouTubers and stuff. You had Jared Alonji, he's got his, he just made his new one where it's kind of a parody of you. So what's your kind of take?
I don't even really have opinion on it. I see like randomly, I'll see like a tweet or something, but to be honest, I don't even really follow it.
Yeah. Are you cool with it, or?
I have no opinion. I've never heard one of that dude's songs or anything.
Oh, okay.
I've never listened to it, so I really just don't even have an opinion. If it's, I don't know if it's supposed to be positive or negative, but it really doesn't affect me. If anything, right. It just helps me. So
right.
Anytime anyone talks about me or makes a parody of me or whatever, I'm really stoked.
Right.
It's all good to me.
For sure. And then the other one being Brian Stars. There's been some stuff around him lately, and I know you've done a bunch of stuff with him, and you seem like you guys were doing a lot at the time. What's your thought on what's been going on with him?
I definitely see like both sides of the spectrum, you
right.
know. I've seen Brian and I've seen his personality as like a young aspiring YouTuber, and then I've seen him in the days where, I guess success got to him, or whatever you want to call that. And I really just think that the YouTube world operates, like the whole internet world, the people that have a career off the internet, it operates differently than music, and there's a lot of weird shit going on and weird contracts and stuff that I think are just stupid and ridiculous.
Right.
And I think he kind of just got way too involved with like the business, money, contract, weird, sketchy side of things versus like just trying to focus on just pure entertainment and stuff, because I don't know. I mean, I'm not really involved in it per se, because I think that dude doesn't really do very much music interviews anymore.
Yeah.
He like kind of stopped all that. But I don't know. I think that as someone that is a huge businessman, I think that it's something that you could definitely let consume you, but you have to just kind of stay grounded and stay aware of your surroundings and know like why you're here, what you're
Right.
here to do, why your fans like you, you know. So I think it's just all about maintaining a healthy balance, and I don't think he had that healthy balance.
Right. And then just wrapping up, I got one more, a little, kind of, you can call it controversial, but there was, I don't even know if you were aware of it, but it was, I believe, when did you play Skate and Surf? It was 2 years ago, right? At this point, or last, I'm trying to remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, down in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Yeah,
Remember
it was a
that?
while
Yeah,
ago.
it was around then. Our station, obviously, since your lyrical content isn't always the necessarily most radio friendly, we can't play everything that
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
put out. But so there was, I guess it was a fan of yours on Twitter who has a very large following, I guess, found out that we have very strict restrictions on what we can play, especially regarding you guys. So he had all of his followers calling in on our request lines, like blowing up our phones, like haggling us to play you guys, and it caused a lot of beef. And I don't know if some of the other guys in the band had like heard of it, and I think they might have mentioned it. I don't know if you knew anything about it, but it was odd, and I didn't know if you had any news
Now-
that you knew about it.
Now that you mention it,
Was that
I
something-
think I briefly remember that, because I don't know if it is your station or what station. I know it was some station from New Jersey.
Right.
I just
Probably
remember
us.
them saying like, we vow to never play Attila ever, and you will never hear Attila. It was like kind of a really like hateful thing towards us. So I don't know. That's all I
wow.
remember.
That was definitely not us, but maybe they took it upon themselves, because we got quite a few angry phone calls about how we weren't playing them and all of this and that. And then I didn't know, because it was funny, because then we played Skate, and you guys played Skate and Surf, and we were a main sponsor. So it was funny because we were right there with you, and we didn't know if you guys had beef with us or if it was just them. So it was
No.
funny because obviously I love you guys, so it was,
Yeah, that's tight. I mean, at least we have a lot of stuff that can be played on the radio now, you know, as far
for
as
sure.
like lyrical content. So that's what's up. But
Is that a push that you're going for at all, or nah?
nah, we've done so well without it. It really doesn't matter to us, you know.
Right.
But it sure, you know, if people want to play us, like it doesn't matter either way. But yeah, no, that's interesting. I think I heard about it a while ago, but
Okay.
it was never something that was like a big deal to
Right.
me.
Because we didn't know if it had anything to do with you guys personally or not.
No, not at all, man.
okay.
'Cause I think that seems like that's something between the fans and y'all, you know.
Right.
Because we surely didn't tell anyone to say anything, you know.
All right, well, cool. I appreciate your time. You got anything you want to add?
Our new album Chaos comes out November 4th, and pre-order it if you haven't already. And we're hand signing every single copy of Chaos that gets pre-ordered. So if you want a hand signed copy, pick one up and we'll sign that shit.
Sweet, dude. Thanks, man.
Thanks.